Hey y'all, how you doing? So today I want to talk to you about shower scrying. And I can already hear you saying, what the hell are you talking about? Well, if you sit down and be quiet, I'm going to tell you about it. So this story goes back to probably about 1992. I was working up at the Piggly Wiggly and I had just rented my first house. It was a little one-bedroom house, but it could have been a castle to me. Uh, and the owner of the house that I rented it from, they had ripped the bathtub out of the bathroom and put in a little stand-up shower. It was probably about the size of a phone booth. Y'all remember what phone booths are, don't you? Anyway, so this one time I was in the shower and I was taking a shower and the water was nice and warm, and back then I think my hair was probably down to about right here, long and wavy, if you can imagine that. And I was in the shower and I turned my back to the shower head and I leaned my head back to sort of, to wash my hair and get it good and clean. And as I'm doing that, as I'm laying back, I had my eyes closed and I just felt the warm water coming all down over my head and my body. And then for some reason I opened my eyes and there was, the shower curtain, and there was a light on the other side of the shower curtain. And the shower curtain was plastic, and the way the light was hitting it, it sort of created these light spots and dark spots of black and white. And so I opened my eyes, my mind was relaxed, my body was relaxed. I looked at the shower curtain and I started to see an image forming. And what I saw was a face. Just like in that other story I told you about the girl at the Piggly Wiggly who gave me that weird look. I saw that in the marble before I saw it in real life. And so I saw this face. It was the face of a man. He had kind of a pompadour. And it was just weird, I finished my shower and everything. And probably about 2 days later, I got a letter in the mail. Now, y'all remember I told you that I was volunteering with a organization, a national organization that did pagan prison ministry. And I was involved in the pagan prison ministry. I was the assistant to the national director, but I also was the director of communication for the pagan prison ministry division. And I wrote to a lot of Wiccan, witch, pagan, whatnot, prisoners. And part of my job was, if they didn't have anybody to write to, I would write to them. I would correspond with them. They learned things from me, and I learned things from them. That's why I have sort of a wide array of knowledge about different aspects of magic. Another part of my job was to help people in other states, because I got letters from all over the United States to help people find a teacher or mentor or a volunteer in their state close to their facility. And so I got this letter from this guy, and a lot of times they send you a picture with them. And I got this letter from this guy, and the picture that he sent me was the exact face that I had seen in my shower curtain. Now, I believe this guy was in Oklahoma, and I was able to find someone in Oklahoma who lived near his facility and who became a volunteer at the prison he was in. And so, but we did still correspond for, I want to say, a good year before, sometimes things just happen. People lose interest, people get moved and what have you, and it's not uncommon to just suddenly not hear from people anymore. But I thought that was real interesting how I saw his face in the shower curtain. So after that experience, I started experimenting with that, and I also learned that there's another way you can do that. Sometimes when I moved into a house that actually had a bathtub, sometimes I would shave in the bathtub, and you'd have that shaving cream on your face, or you can even do this in the sink when you shave at the sink. You take your razor and your shaving and you swirl it around in the water. You look down and that shaving cream is in that water, and it can sometimes form a shape, and you'll see things. And if you want to, you can look at that pool of water in your sink or your bathtub, and you can see shapes and images that will come to you. Also, I've done this with dishwater. When you put bubbles in the dishwater and you're washing dishes, and then the dishes are all washed and put away, but you still have the dishwater in the thing. The bubbles have sort of started to disperse or whatever, but there's still sort of this white bubbles and the chemical in there, and you can twirl your finger around and think of a question or something that you want an answer to, and you can kind of look down, and when the water stops, you just sort of let it form these images, and you would interpret what you see in relation to the question or issue that you asked. So anyway, that is all about shower scrying. Again, you can do it in the bathtub, you can do it in the sink when you're shaving with the shaving cream, and you can also do it when you're washing dishes with your dish soap. I did take a picture right before I did this video. I made some dishwater to do some dishes, and I took a picture of that. I'm going to try to make that be the image that comes up when you see this video on YouTube or Instagram, wherever so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. You'll see where there's bubbles in my sink, and then where the bubbles aren't, there's water. It sort of looks like a face, but not a profile, but not necessarily of a human. Maybe something spiritual or what have you. Anyway, that is my quick video on shower scrying. Have you ever had any experiences with scrying in the shower, scrying with water? Tell me about it. And until next time, make good choices, do good things, and be good people.